Hey, what's up, folks? How's it going? This is Abhijit here, and welcome to DevOps Challenge Hub. So let's start with today's interview question. Let me share my screen. Okay. So today's question is we will have a couple of questions. First question is, can you explain what AWS Code Pipeline is and how you have used it in your project? So we'll just see how the sample answer will look like. So before going into the answer, just let's have a look at the code pipeline. So on AWS console, we can create new pipeline. Category can be deployment, push to ECR, deploy to ECS Fargate, deploy to CloudFormation, deploy your CloudFormation template, and deploy your Terraform configuration to AWS. Then we have continuous integration, CI build Gradle, CI build Node.js, etc. Automation, Schedule Gradle build pipeline, Schedule Node.js build pipeline, and build custom pipeline. So the other options are there, and then we can give pipeline name. Execution mode, we have superseded, queued, and parallel. Then we can create a new service role, or we can also pick up existing service role, and then advanced settings, default location, custom location, AWS managed key, variables. You can add, and then you can go next, and then you can select the source stage, build stage, test stage, deploy stage, and final review and create the pipeline. So this is how you create the pipeline from AWS console. Now let's see the sample answer. So in our company, like earlier we were doing manually, but since code complexity increased and we started releasing many more projects, so we decided to go for AWS code pipeline. And what we did, like for source in the pipeline, there are like four stages. So in the source stage, we use the GitHub. So GitHub, as soon as the developer pushes the changes, GitHub webhook will start the build process, means trigger the pipeline. So that will be the triggering the pipeline. Then we have the build stage. In build stage, code build, we use the code build for compilation and unit test. Then we use the another stage, which will be like in the code build only, deployed to staging for integration test. We use this in the code deploy, and then finally deploy manual approval to production environment. This is like a manual approval process. After that, we move the same artifact to the prod deployment. So this reduces the deployment time from 4 hours to 45 minutes and deployment errors by 80%. So this is how we have used the code pipeline. This is basically orchestration. It orchestrates different stages using uh, GitHub or code commit. Code commit is obsolete now, like deprecated. And then we have code build, uh, code deploy. We can also use source stage in Bitbucket and other source version control or source control systems. Next question is, how do you handle parallel execution in code pipeline? Can you share a specific use case? So parallel execution, as we have seen that here we have parallel execution here, so superseded, queued, and parallel. So parallel execution we can handle in uh, code deploy. We can handle parallel execution. Means code deploy can be triggered by code pipeline, or code pipeline also we can execute parallelly. So generally, if there is no dependency, then we'll go for parallel execution. So dependency of A, if there is a dependency of B on A, then we cannot execute B parallel because B needs something produced by A. But if A and B are independent, we can execute parallelly. For example, we execute unit testing, then security scan, code quality, and performance test. So all these we are like in our e-commerce platform testing stage, we use the parallel actions, and using parallel actions, parallel execution within the stage using the same run order, we do this for different testing parallel. because they are not dependent on each other. Unit testing is independent of security scan, independent of code quality, sonar cube test, and performance test. So these are the four things we execute parallel. Similarly, like if it is a UI code base and compilation of a backend, that also can be compiled or built parallelly. What are the pipeline artifacts and how do you manage them effectively? So pipeline artifacts is the in each stage something is produced which can be used by the next stage or the stage down the line, later stage, right? So that's the like artifact is a file passed between pipeline stages. So like for example, it can be code, builds, or dependencies. It can be stored in S3, managed through git, ignore, caching, or lifecycle policies. Use cases like Node.js app pipeline source artifact will be raw GitHub code. That is the source artifact. So you have the code that will be used in the next stage. That is build stage. Build stage, it will compile the app with node modules, and then that app will be used in the next stage. Test artifacts. It will test the that whatever application produced in the earlier stage, and then it will generate report coverage, etc. Right? And in deployment artifact, it will create a final deployed bundle, like app plus all the dependencies, everything, uh, different configuration files. It will create a bundle. So these are the different stages are there, and different artifacts will be produced in each stage. How do you handle pipeline execution mode? So what's your experience with superseded mode? How do you handle pipeline execution mode and what your experience is? Superseded mode. Okay. So what's your experience in superseded mode? So what is the challenge I faced? Like, so this is also sample answer. So in my project, especially where multiple developers are pushing changes frequently, then what will happen in the same branch if it's getting pushed and how we manage the pipeline. So let's say developer pushed changes and then it triggered the pipeline, code get checked out, then tested. Then after maybe 10 minutes, another guy pushed. Again, code will be checked out. Should it run parallelly? Should that be queued? Or it will be superseded. Superseded means whatever the previous one will be stopped, the latest one will be taken. Latest one will be superseded. So previous one will be stopped, latest one will be superseded. So this, especially where multiple developers are pushing changes frequently to same branch, managing how pipeline execution behave became critical. That's where the understanding and configuring execution modes help us maintain stability and avoid deployment chaos. So these are the three options I discussed, like superseded, automatically cancels ongoing execution when a new version arrives. Parallel allows multiple execution to run at the same time. Good when execution don't conflict. And then queued. Queued execution and runs them one after another. Best for production pipelines with critical changes. So initially, when we used the superseded mode across all environment, it looked fine until what happened. Like the it was the on the main branch, main branch. This code went in, and it built and pushed to deployment. Then QA started testing, and what happened after that? Like again, one more change came, and then again that's superseded. So QA didn't know that a new version came up, so that caused some kind of confusion. So developer A pushes code to development one. Just 5 minutes later, developer B pushes a hot fix. The pipeline cancels A's execution and starts B. So while this saves time, but it causes confusion because QA didn't realize that fast deployment was stopped and they began testing the partially deployed state. So it caused problem with resource wastage, etc. So what we did environment-based pipeline splitting. We isolated critical environment like staging and production into separate pipeline. So this prevented unrelated commits from interacting the same pipeline. Then execution mode customization. For staging, we switched to queued mode. For dev or feature branches, we retain superseded mode to save time. So feature branch, we ask the developer to work on the feature branch, and feature branch only maybe two, three developer is working on this particular feature A, then feature B another two, three developer, feature C another two, three developer. So there won't be many commits, and it will be like automated test. So they will commit, and it will run some automated test, and they will immediately get feedback. Automated test like lint, scanning, security tests, automated test, they will get immediate feedback. But when it's getting merged, it will be there will be pull request, and after review only it will be merged with the develop branch, and then only it will be triggered and deployed for testing for QA. So we did that. Right execute and also what we did, we installed monitoring and alert if enable SNS. If for some reason it's getting cancelled, there will be notification that your previous uh, execution or previous release got cancelled. Everybody will get notification by email, also on the Slack channel. So staging we switch to queue mode, and then production we use superseded, and also dev we maintain superseded. So queue benefit execute every change in the sequence. No commit is skipped. Ideal for production pattern when every commit matters. Parallel mode runs multiple execution concurrently. And we consider the version control. Feature branches encourage the developer to use feature branches. Pull request merge into develop to main by peer to trigger pipeline only for review changes. So next question. Now we'll go to the quiz section. So just quick review. Superseded is good, because we want a faster one. So old version should not be executed, and we just start the new one. But problem is there may be confusion, and when manual testing is there, it's better we have some manual approval or pull request, and then only it will be pushed to QA. And where frequent changes are required, let it be on the feature branch. Feature branch developer can fix one item, push it, fix, push, fix, push, like, and then once they think that considerable amount is ready, and then they want to merge it with uh, develop branch, then they can create a PR request, get it reviewed, and then it will merge with code will be merged with the develop branch, and then it will be deployed to environment, and then QA will test. Which of the following action can be executed in parallel in code pipeline stage with same run order? Unit test, security scan, and performance test can be executed in parallel in a code pipeline stage. What are pipelines artifacts in AWS code pipeline? Files passed between pipeline stages. What does superseded execution mode in code pipeline mean? Just click cancel ongoing pipeline execution effect. New, yeah. So cancel ongoing pipeline execution if a new version arrives. Uncertainty. This execution mode was adopted for staging environment to ensure reliability. Queue was adopted for reliability. Or we can say SNS notification for superseded. So that's it for today. Hope you like this video. Please like, comment, and share. Follow my subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow my LinkedIn page, DevOps Challenge Up. I post quiz contest daily and I can participate in that. Also subscribe to my YouTube channel. I post updates regularly. Thanks for watching this video and see you again in the video.